I'm gonna show you guys how to use the Akzentz Build to build a beautiful nail with an apex. What that apex is going to do is it's going to give strength to that nail. So as your client is doing life, their nails are gonna be less likely to chip, to break down, because we have something able to absorb that impact. So today's tutorial is Akzentz Builder in a Bottle. You're not gonna wanna miss this, and everything that I'm using is in the link below. Go ahead, click it, shop it, and enjoy this tutorial. All right, so I'm gonna start my structured gel manicure with the Akzentz X Bond. The X Bond is designed to provide the ultimate bond for most of your troublesome clients. So your trouble clients are the ones that have a lot of flexibility in their nail plate. They might have more greasy nail plates. Anytime that you find that your client is not holding product, X Bond is the solution. So you're gonna see me here is we're just scrubbing in the product. You're gonna apply thin layers. Now, if you're new to doing nails, you're gonna find that there is no viscosity to this product. It is a base that you are not building with. You're literally just scrubbing thin layers into the nail plate, and you're going to wanna be sure that you work quickly because this product is extremely runny. So if you need to do a few nails and just freeze them in the light, go ahead and do that. The last thing that we want to do is flood those lateral folds, which will just create more complications down the road as we apply additional product. People may not want to use the X Bond because it's extremely runny and they might not feel comfortable with it. However, it really does help and make a difference with those troublesome nails. So I just put it on everybody. We're going to go ahead and scrub the X Bond into each nail, scrub, 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 and then we're going to put it in the light for 30 seconds. Next, I apply a thin slip layer of Luxio Build. Be sure to cover the entire nail without curing. Then I'm gonna use a bigger bead of Luxio Build and just nicely float the product down to the free edge of the nail. If there's too much product, go ahead and take the bristles and float the product back. Once you have it perfectly set, go ahead and flash for 5 seconds. Once I've done all 5 fingers, I'm gonna do a full cure for the 30 seconds. Getting as close as we can to that lateral fold, close to the proximal fold without actually flooding. Gel is attracted to gel, so when I put more of that builder on top, it's really going to have this beautiful even coverage where it just kind of melts into the pre-existing product. What's really important after you apply your slip layer or your wetting layer is that you're not putting the nail back into the light. We want to keep it wet. So now take your brush, get a little bit of a larger bead. We want to have enough product so that we can actually float it down the nail instead of polishing it. And then at the very end of the free edge, just pulling it so we don't have a little ski jump. I like to do the thumbs last, so I'm going to take my Akzentz Build and I'm just going to do a very thin layer, just literally pulling the product down. This is going to be my slip layer or wetting layer, whatever you prefer to call it. And then I'm going to grab a larger bead, place it towards the proximal fold, and just gently push it to the fold, but I'm not trying to actually flood underneath the proximal fold, okay? So getting it as close as possible without flooding. We're going to work that bead all the way down the nail. When you get to the free edge, feel free to pull it back. We don't want to have any cliff. The idea with a structured gel manicure is that there's no finish filing. The build lays very nicely. It's just a matter of using gravity in your brush. So next, we are going to apply the color. I like to, at this point, use my pusher and just push back that proximal fold. That way I can get really close with my color. Now, remember, that proximal fold is always trying to seal back down on the nail plate because it is a protection layer. So just being able to push it back is going to expose more of that nail plate so I can get a tighter look with my polish. So I'm gonna get as close to that proximal fold as possible. And some of you, you're actually on that second color going to take a detail brush and get under that proximal fold. The idea is to get as close to the fold and just pull down color. Make sure that you're fanning out your brush and just scooting the product down. If you're finding that it's really warm in your studio and you're losing control of the product, go back to just doing a flash cure to hold the product in place as you jump to the next nail. It doesn't need a full cure, just a few seconds in the light, and we'll do a full 30 seconds at the end to make sure that we have a solid cure. When you're applying your color, make sure you kind of with your brush just do like a little wiggle where you're able to take a little bit of the color and push it up to the proximal fold. What you don't want to do is start at the proximal fold and then we end up flooding that. Just go do a little wiggle as you bounce some of the product back and then just nicely pull the product down. Not like a traditional polish, you kind of like are doing this pull / floating where we can literally watch the gel color and where you see a little more product, just moving that product so you have a good full coverage of color. The biggest thing is with the color application is thin layers. We want to make sure that we're doing everything thin so it can get a full cure. And that way we reduce kind of any shrinkage. Fan out your brush, get close to that lateral fold and just move the product down. Also, there is self-leveling elements to your Luxio color. So just give it a second and watch the color just set up before you go in and do your 30-second cure. Okay? Fantastic. We're going to do that 30-second cure and then we are going to jump to our top coat. So my favorite top coat in the Akzentz line is Shine On. It's a no wipe and you just get this beautiful high shine. There's no discoloration. I really like it. I feel like it really holds up to your client's lifestyle, whether they are using their nails as tools or they're using them as jewels. You're going to get a beautiful start to finish look. Now, when you're applying the Shine On, make sure you're not just polishing it on, but you're actually kind of floating it. So don't push into the product, just float it on and let everything just self-level. Here is a pro tip. Once your client has removed their nails from the light, okay, do not touch it for at least an entire minute. No alcohol, no thumbprint. This is important for the product to cool off. If you expose it to alcohol right away, then you will lose that bright shine. And if you touch it, like your client goes touch, you're gonna have a beautiful thumbprint. So you're gonna have a nice thumbprint in the product. So now that we've waited a minute to allow the nails to cool after we've applied the top coat, I'm now going to take a small drop of my Luxio oil, which is a quick absorbing cuticle oil, and start to hydrate the nails. I'm gonna pair this with the Erica's polisher bit and just nicely refine all that cuticle work. So I've been dehydrating the nail and now what I'm doing is I'm rehydrating the nail. The polisher bit paired with the Luxio oil is going to create that beautiful, perfect picture manicure. Hey, if you guys want to see more content like that, make sure you like and subscribe. We're here to help.